Corporate corruption, bureaucratic incompetence, and climate change ascending. We have a disaster. Holy shit, what a mess this is. Wow. I'd say 2025 was like, started off with a fucking 2 terrorist attacks, and it's like, you know what? I gotta really up my game. Let's have a natural fucking disaster that's gonna put one of this country's biggest city on notice. God, everyone was saying 2025 is gonna be shit, and it took it as a challenge. Holy crap. God damn, even the meteor coming down was gonna wipe us out. I was like, you know what? I'll take my lunch break. My God. This has been unbelievable to watch. It's terrifying. A lot of people, at least, you know, from what I was reading from a lot of the folks that are, you know, a lot more well-versed in this than I am, there's an understanding that, like, yeah, the hills, the fires can always kind of catch there, but there was a period of time during this disaster where a lot of folks thought the fire would actually descend into what's called the flats, which are, you know, because you have the Hollywood Hills and stuff down south of Santa Monica. That's where the flats are. You know, that's where a lot of most of the housing is, and people they evacuated a lot of those areas up in northern Santa Monica, north parts of Hollywood. You know, the Runyon Canyon area. It's unbelievable. And I was just out in Runyon Canyon. I believe it was last week or the week before that. And there was some fucking dipshit prick sitting on, like, multiple fallen trees. There were nothing more than just tinder. I mean, they could have gone up like that. And the guy is sitting on those fucking things, thinking he's all cool, smoking a cigarette. A fucking cigarette on top of this just pile of this campfire waiting to be. And I'm passing him like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? With all the fires we've had, put that shit out, man. What's wrong with you? And he looked at me, and believe me, it was very clear his family bloodline had a lot of money and absolutely no brains. Oh, I knew I should have, like, filmed it and just done some World Star shit, but what the fuck would that have accomplished? All right, so today I have Long Island iced tea. I have no idea if these things are good. Just wanted to have something, and I didn't feel like having a beer, and I also didn't feel like having a margarita. So we'll see. First taste test. Ooh, I already don't like the smell. Boy, that's strong. This is not going to be an enjoyable live stream for me. Oh, that's awful. Have Long Island iced teas always been like this? Like, it's been a long time since I've had one, but are they always this bad? Or did I just, like, have I grown soft in my old age? Am I drinking, are my drinking, the best of my drinking days behind me? What the hell? Ugh. Oh, I am not, holy cow, guys. We are in for a show. That was terrible. Okay, who's in the live stream? Hello, 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 people. Welcome. So where do we start with all this? This has obviously been a nightmare. It's been a disaster. And I really got to get used to using this fucking app. So it seemed like, it's amazing how quickly it escalated, because I remember seeing the warnings of the Santa Ana winds in the weather forecast, and then reading from a lot of the lefty accounts that I follow are saying, boy, you know, with these kind of winds, it's not going to take much for a fire to just go rampant. And then I wake up the next day, driving to the gym out towards Santa Monica, and then there's a fucking plume of smoke. And, like, sure enough, it popped off fucking quick. Wow. Let's see how long TikTok takes to censor me for this, by the way. What are we at? Like the little under 5-minute mark? Let's see how long it takes for them to just cut this stream and censor me yet again. Bastards. So yeah, we still don't know the cause of the fire, which is the big question. And we should not be shying away from legitimate questions that we need to ask, like, are MAGA terrorists behind this? They've done horrible shit before. They hate this state. They want to off as many Americans as they can. and this is a very difficult crime to track, to prove, to convict. You know, if they did do it, the evidence will just burn right up. So how would we ever know? We may never know. And then also, the police are in line with the MAGA terrorists. So even if some evidence were to come forward that would put these people, you know, on trial, the police would just cover it up and bury it. I mean, there was a story about 2-3 weeks ago, I think now, where a police officer was driving drunk, smashed into a car, and puts like a 8 or 10-year-old kid, something like that, in a coma. And then rather than the police who responded to that arresting the drunk driver, they tried to keep the breathalyzer away from him. They tried to cover it up. This is who the police are. Speaking of the police, they got a $1 billion raise in the last LA budget. So what a surprise that the LA Fire Department, which many activists and the LA Fire Department themselves warned, would not have the resources to fight exactly this kind of event. And it wasn't like this was unprecedented. You know, we had the Paradise Fire. Just a couple weeks ago, we saw the fire in Hawaii. This is not new. This is the world that these criminal corporatists have created for us with climate change, is that we are always at risk of massive fires. And it's going to keep happening. Again, it's foreseeable. It's very easy to prevent, and yet we do nothing about it. Absolutely nothing about it. Instead, we fund the police. What are they going to do? Shoot the fire? Put handcuffs on it? What in the hell good is that going to do? Off track. Going back to what I was saying. If you recall, the last wildfire that happened out here in California, the MAGA terrorists on the right wing were saying all about how immigrants were doing it. It's all the fault of immigrants. Immigrants this, immigrants that. When, of course, that wasn't the case at fucking all. And we also know that they project. That is their go-to. So if they're saying, oh, immigrants did this, immigrants caused this fire, just basic logic means that they had a hand in this. These are questions that we need to ask. These are questions that we need to have answers to. And there needs to be an open and transparent process to finding out who these terrorists were that started these fires. Now, the flip side of that. In Paradise, California, the entire city burned down because of PG&E. I can't remember what they stand for, Pacific Gas and Electric or something. Had a history of cutting corners, cutting costs, and then they would go away with, or do away with, any preventative measures. And then, lo and behold, when you don't maintain these power cables, they fall, they break, and they catch fire. And the entire town burned down. And you know what? People actually died, and no one faced accountability. PG&E paid a fucking slap on the wrist. Like what, a couple million, I think, which is absolutely nothing compared to the record profits that they were catching up on. So it's insane to think that there's going to be accountability for this if this was corporate malpractice, which is a very high possibility as well. Or it could have just been that dipshit that I saw in Runyon that wouldn't put out his fucking cigarette. He low-key looks like he'd be a singer in a pop-punk band. Los Angeles is burning, Bad Religion. God, I wouldn't know the first... I don't even know what pop-punk music sounds like. I don't even know what that sounds like. That's a funny fucking idea. What would I even call my fucking... What would I even call it? Did you say I'd call it Bad Religion? I really gotta get used to fucking using this app. Holy shit. Okay, there we go. One of these days I will get it, but it is not today. So what we're having is the... Oh my god, did anybody see that video of Karen Bass in the walkway getting off the plane? Where she was confronted with, like, what do you think about why did you defund the fire department? Do you feel bad? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And it was just a deer in headlights. I mean, she's just standing there like... Karen Bass, why did you defund the LA Fire Department? Karen Bass, why were you overseas when there was a fire happening? This is who our leader is. This is the person leading this massive city during this disaster? This is what we've got to work with? Jesus Christ. Mitch McConnell had more fucking thoughts in his mind after that stroke when he gave his presser. Oh, God, that's so terrible. I'm going to have a Long Island iced tea tonight from a bar and compare it and see, like, what went wrong here. So we have Karen Bass, corrupt-ass mayor of LA. This is total machine-style politics. By the way, this is a Democrat city. This is a blue city, blue state, blue county. And this is supposed to be kind of a stronghold of liberal politics, and we still have this kind of a mess. And that is why we absolutely have to destroy the Democratic Party here and elsewhere if they are not going to be on the side of the people. Karen Bass has consistently handed out contracts to her best friends to enrich herself rather than actually do what is in the best interest of the people. And here she is on a diplomatic mission in Ghana? Why is the mayor of Los Angeles, California, the United States of America, half a world away in an entirely different continent to pay homage to the new president that's getting inaugurated there? What in the fuck is going on? So Karen Bass, aka Mayor MIA, was nowhere to be seen, and she is clearly not going to have any remorse for this. There's not going to be any change in policy. There's not going to be a change of tact. We, the people, are going to have to force it. The people out there right now who have lost their homes, who had to be evacuated, who had to spend thousands of dollars to stay elsewhere, or couldn't afford to stay elsewhere, so they had to sleep in their car or on the streets. We, the people, are going to have to hold these unbelievably corrupt politicians like the LA City Council and Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom accountable. And that's going to take some hard work. On that note, going into corporate corruption. So again, I work in the hotel industry, and many of the hotels, when in the midst of this crisis, jacked up their rates. I mean, I'm talking like 1,000% increase. This is total, clear price gouging. There was a state of emergency, and in response to it, the hotel industry, yoink, jacked up their rates. This is illegal. Oh my God, stop texting me. This is illegal, and it should be held accountable. But what we're gonna see here is whoever is responsible for this, if it was a corporation that was not taking care of their power lines, that was not regulating their fucking gas lines, whatever it may be, maintaining their gas lines, they're going to get away with it. That is what Karen Bass and the California Democrats have shown. Ugh. It's price gouging, it's corruption, and it needs to be ended. We should not allow it. And all the authorities, all the regulatory agencies should be hounding these corporations that are price gouging Americans. But they're not going to, because we have corrupt politicians in charge, and we can never lose sight of that. Yes, the Republicans are terrible. They're obviously terrible. They are overtly fascist, and they want to destroy America. But Democrats, at least the California Democrats, now look, you look at like what Tim Walz did in Minnesota, right? Changed people's lives for the better. Michigan, same thing. Democrats got a trifecta. They got to work. They improved things. They raised the minimum wage. They expanded healthcare. They protected women's rights to their healthcare. They protected transgender folks. They went to work. Instead, here in California, we have something like 4 of the 12 LA City Council members under indictment and/or investigation for corruption. Dig this: when Mayor Karen Bass was gone, duties fell to the deputy mayor to take over this problem, and yet he couldn't take it over because he's recused himself because he is under investigation for sending bomb threats. Guess where? To LA City Hall, the place that he fucking works and is supposed to be taking care of. What the fuck? How does this make any fucking sense that these people are able to get away with this shit? Okay, I really gotta get better at using this app. This is gonna be a great replay to watch for anyone that catches this on YouTube or here on my TikTok later on. So then, since he couldn't take charge, some woman, I don't know who she is, her name is something Parks, Nobody seemed to know who she was. Even the activists that I follow frequently in this city, who are pretty well embedded and knowledgeable about the local politics and the players and the movers, they didn't know who she was. Our city was under the control of a person that apparently we have no idea who they are or what their agenda is. But can we not think about how Mayor MIA, and then the next person in line is a dude calling in bomb threats to City Hall, the place that he works, that he's like going to the office every day, that he's getting sworn in, that he's like taken an oath to defend? This story is going to get even weirder. It's absolutely going to get even weirder and crazier and bizarre, because this has to just be the tip of the iceberg, because that's what we've always found. Whenever there's this kind of craziness, this is like surface level of crazy shit. It's going to get worse and it's going to get weirder. Where did I want to go with this? I had like a whole... I like to be very freewheeling and kind of like just rant about my thoughts, which are somehow now escaping me. So we covered Mayor MIA. What can be done next? Climate change, yes. So the thing is, with Trump being inaugurated, we saw this last time. He, anytime Americans that are not kissing the ring on his very tiny fingers, he will not help us. That's what we have to look forward to. And look, I know that the Democrats fucked up and are terrible, but this is what we are now stuck with. So people who sat at home, which did happen because the Democrats failed to inspire them, but also people you sat at home, you had to be an adult. You had to look at this and say, these are the consequences if I don't vote. These are the consequences of what happens. Yes, you had a lot of reasons. You had a lot of very valid reasons, and the Democrats failed miserably. And now this is what we have. Because what's going to happen is that the next natural disaster, the next earthquake out in California, the next tornado in fucking, the next flood that happens in New York, what's a blue state that would have a tornado? Colorado is a purple state, so I guess tornadoes can and have happened out there in the past. Trump will not send disaster aid. He will hold disaster aid hostage in order to get us to kiss the ring and do his bidding. And he is a fascist. We cannot obey in advance. That is the first lesson about fascism. Do not obey in advance. So, let's say another disaster happens while the MAGA mob is in power, and they refuse to send disaster aid. California is it's like the fifth, it was supposed to be like the fourth largest economy in the world. That's California, the fourth largest economy in the world. The right wing loves to piss and moan and hate about California, but guess what? If we weren't out here working, shipping goods, creating goods, you wouldn't have the fucking welfare checks that you live on. That's a fact. So California, if Trump refuses to send disaster aid, Californians and all blue states should refuse to pay taxes. We should. Why are we paying taxes to this government that does not, one, it does not represent us, and two, it's not helping us. Instead, you've got Trump who's in there, and he's basically just going to hand the keys over to the Treasury to Don Jr., and they're going to rape and pillage and steal every single fucking thing, and they're going to hide more nuclear documents in their fucking shitter. The time has come for radical action. And if the Trump regime is going to refuse to help the Americans that he is in charge of, then we need to take action. And that's going to involve us not paying our taxes. If we're going to pay taxes, there is a social contract that those taxes will benefit Americans. We're going to get roads. We're going to get high-speed transportation. We're going to get high-speed internet. We're going to get health care. We're going to get basic services like fire and shit. So, if this indeed happens, where the MAGA mob will not send aid to blue states, don't pay your taxes. I'm not even kidding. They can't arrest all of us. They will try, but they cannot. If everyone refuses to pay their taxes, that's going to have an impact. Again, California, 4th/5th largest economy in the world. We refuse to pay taxes. What do you think happens? What do you think happens under that scenario? That is that's not just a country economic collapse. That is a worldwide economic disaster. California, we have leverage, and we need to use it. Stop obeying in advance. Stop bending over backwards to these fucking fascists and fight back. I'm so tired of these Democrats who just capitulate. Now you're seeing, like, what's his name, Jared Polis in Colorado, like, I look forward to welcoming our billionaire oligarch overlords. And then even Bernie Sanders now, for Christ's sakes, Bernie, how could you do this, my man? What are you thinking? We will work with the dog people that want to cut expenses. We will work with them if they will cut the military budget. They're not going to. That is not their point. The point of Doge, it's a joke. It's a sideshow. Even today, Musk is admitting, no, we actually can't cut $2 trillion from the budget. Well, who could have fucking seen that coming? My God. Really? You don't say. Democrats need to stop rolling over. We have to fight everything. If you don't stand up and fight everything, you're just going to get rolled. We have seen this over and over and over throughout history. Every single time you capitulate to fascists. Every single time, whether it be Chamberlain. Just before World War II, he capitulated in Europe, gave more territory to Hitler, and then finally, by then, it was too late to stop. You have to fight. Dig a fucking foxhole, create some barriers, set up Overwatch, get armed, and prepare yourself for what's coming. We cannot sit idly by anymore and just allow these Republicans, these terrorists that wave Nazi flags and use Nazi symbolism for their RNC to control this country, because they are not only destroying our country, they're destroying the world. These fires that are happening here in California, it's going to happen elsewhere. There's going to be fires in the Midwest and all these red states. You already saw it in Texas, where their power grid failed because, yet again, Greg Abbott is taking kickbacks from the power industry and allowing them to just get away with totally screwing over the people of Texas, and then they're without power, they're without heat, and they freeze to death, and they die. These natural disasters are going to keep happening. There's going to be more tornadoes, there's going to be more floods, there's going to be more fires. It's not going to be isolated to blue states, people. And the MAGA agenda, with their drill, baby drill bullshit, is exactly what's going to get us there. Because some dipshit back in the 1970s in fucking Chevron researched this themselves and said, climate change, you know what? I'm putting all the points together, and it seems to be real. We should probably think about reducing oil consumption. And then the boss is like, go fuck yourself. Get me my oil. They knew this. They knew that climate change was a thing since then, and they are still doubling down. When the very people who were the first pioneers of this research, climate change, being the very people now behind it. It's grown even bigger than that. It's not just the oil and gas industry. Now you've got AI, which consumes so much power that it's even causing brownouts and blackouts in certain areas where it's happening, where they're using it, because it consumes that much power. All this crypto bullshit, same thing. It uses all that power, and then I knew it. Your live is flagged for misinformation. Oh, get fucked, TikTok. Go fucking kiss Trump's ring some more, you CEO trash. I need to start, as crazy as it sounds, I need to start doing my live streams on Rumble, because they don't, well, they would censor me because I'm a liberal, or fucking YouTube. Anyways, the point being that the people this climate change is not just isolated to the oil and gas industry. There is so much more embedded in it, and we need to do what we can. Please, for God's sakes, folks, just turn off some power here and there. If you're leaving your house, turn off your lights, turn off your computers. Don't leave shit on. If you can, I promise you, convert to an electric vehicle. I've got my car. It's electric, all fully electric. It's amazing. If you can't do a fully electric for whatever reason, they don't have enough battery chargers in your area, get a hybrid. I promise you, it's going to make your life so much easier. I cannot tell you how much money I have saved by not having, not only with an electric car do I not have to pay for gas, I don't have to pay for oil changes. You have to go in, what, about every 3 months for oil, and that's another $100-ish bucks? That's money saved. And then you'd have to get your car filled about every week, 2 weeks, depending on how much you drive, and that's, what, 50-ish bucks? It's going to take radical action. And more importantly, we have to force the people in charge, the people that actually have the power to arrest these criminals, like the folks in the oil and gas industry, which do price gouge you, believe it or not. During the whole inflation shit, they had absolutely no reason to raise prices, but instead, what they did, not only did they raise prices, but they then they lowered their production. They lowered the amount of oil because then that would decrease the supply and increase the demand, and they could charge even more. And you know what? They laughed about it on their earnings calls, on their stock calls, on their board of director meetings. They laughed about it. That is how evil these people are, and they have to be stopped. Okay. I have done enough. What is, let me see, this chat is popping off. Oh, 449 likes. That's nice. Where are we? Yes, pay more taxes. Yes, that's the answer. Call FEMA. Oh, wait, they don't do anything. Alan, you fucking idiot. That's not even close to what I said. God. Why are you MAGA morons so stupid? It doesn't seem like enough of us are angry. Why? CalKim21. That is a great question. No, it is not a Tesla. It is not a Tesla. No, I promise you. I went out of my way to ensure that. If I had to... No, not a Tesla. Doesn't seem like enough of us are angry. Why? CalKim, I would say give it another day or two. I think that right now everybody is still... There's a bit of shock, at least from what I have seen of the people affected by these fires. It's shocking. You know, we didn't know this was going to happen. Well, I mean, a lot of people, I'm sure, knew that it was going to happen, but there was a great saying I saw where it says, climate change will continue to be seen through the footage of a camera until it gets closer and closer and closer, and then you are the one doing the filming. And that's kind of where we are. So then when you're the one filming, I mean, it even hit me a little bit. When I had to think last night, I'm like, God, if I get evacuated, okay, what do I have? What do I need to bring? Okay, I've got this water. I've got flashlight, I've got batteries, I'm charging all my devices, taking my portable chargers. So I think it does need a little bit of simmering, and people will be angry. But also, we need to point this stuff out. We need to point out that the system is rigged against us. And we are going to continue to see this until we do something. These people that lost their homes, especially all the people up in the Palisades. I saw, what's his name, James Woods out there. James Woods is sobbing on CNN about losing his fucking home. And of course they give James Woods, of all people, the pedophile James Woods, a platform to cry about losing his house. How much time did airtime did CNN give to the people, the actual working Americans that are patriots and actually love this country? How much time did they spend giving them a microphone, talking about being evacuated from Hollywood, from Santa Monica, and all the homeless folks that are now left, that were already homeless and had no way of escaping this disaster? Why didn't they give them a microphone? How much time did they give? So going back to James Woods, he's crying about it. And it's like, dude, you voted for this. You voted for these disasters. You were the pro-disaster party. Every single time. You were warned about this. We told you climate change is real. And you know what? He's going to go about his fucking merry, rich little life, and nothing's going to change. Losing his entire house and like all these memories and all his memorabilia that's not in his house anymore, not going to change a thing. He's still going to say, climate change is fake. Climate change isn't real. This was caused by a naturally occurring phenomenon. No, it wasn't. This is climate change. Holy shit, I have 80 people in this live stream? Jesus. Please use your inside voice. Sorry, Clemson. I get very animated. I don't know what to do. Please call as soon as possible about your test results. HIV clinic. Oh, that's a good troll. That's a good troll. The joke's on you because I don't have HIV. I have AIDS. Climate change, but the Democrats in California could care less about having enough water. That guy, Randy, I don't fully know what you're meaning with that, but I'll just give my 2 cents because it's my time and I have the camera. If your point is that we don't have enough water, you're correct. LA has not invested in the infrastructure in order to get enough water. Like when it rains out here, which is very, very rare, and then anytime it does rain, Angelinos are always like, oh my God, weather! It's happening! Sorry, that was again loud. Sorry, Clemson. I shouted at you, Clemson. Sorry. But we don't have enough water because the ways that we are supposed to collect water for this city, we don't have the infrastructure for it. When we get rainfall, it just goes right out into the ocean. It dumps and it's gone. We need to have a way to actually collect the rainwater, and we don't. Waking me up when Martha's Vineyard is underwater. Sean the Lich King, what are you talking about, dude? This is Palisades. Palisades is like the Martha's Vineyard, well, minus the harbor, or excuse me, the harbor. Martha's Vineyard is the Palisades of the West Coast, dude. It's already happening. And even so, all these rich people, the Kardashians, the James Woodses, all these other rich people, the elites that live out there that are totally disconnected from what happens when you don't have wealth and privilege and power, they're not going to change their tune. And that has to change. Climate change is total BS. Brian, fuck yourself. Is Luigi a hero? Yes, he is. Actually, this was caused because there was no water in the fire hydrants. Titus, you're spreading bullshit. The fire hydrants had water. They ran out of it because this fire was so intense and unprecedented. Idiot. Trent Roberts, this isn't climate change. Another idiot. Okay, I just need to fucking start. Let's see. Okay, so you're getting a block. Merry early Christmas. What's another dipshit in here? Enjoy this very unappealing close-up of my face. I promise you, I am not tanned and have no plans of getting one. Hold your comments! Don't be mean to me. I am focusing, and I'm doing it without my glasses. Okay, I don't know. These assholes left already. Climate change doesn't exist. You're an idiot. It does, and that's why we're all, getting because of stupid people. See, this is what I'm talking about. This Chico guy.